Okay, there we go. I had to sign in from the website. It wouldn't let me just do it from clicking the icon over here. Okay. Learn something new every day. All right.
I didn't even realize, like, that whole time I was on mute and I'm like talking to you. And I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh.
No, it's like a learning curve. I'm serious. Like, and I've been doing these meetings for like a year now, and it's still like every time there's like something, like some little glitch.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I will mute myself so you can't hear the chaos going on here. So
okay, like it's been nuts here today. Do you have any questions?
Not really. I think my biggest hurdle right now is just getting comfortable posting about my workouts and stuff, like pictures and videos and things. I think I just need to get over it and do it. But
yeah. And that's a hard thing. I mean, it took me, like, I like vividly remember like the first workout, like selfie. It was like my first selfie I've ever taken. And that was like early last year. So,
yeah.
And that was like, what, it took me 3 years to do that. So, but when I started doing it, I mean, my biggest holdup was, you know, I was friends with a lot of coaches on Facebook. So you're seeing, you know, all their like workout selfies and you're like,
yes,
that's a lot. You're just like annoyed by it. But, you know, but they were all they were all successful coaches. So I was like, there's got to be to it. But then I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, I think I'm annoyed by it because a lot of my friends are coaches. So that's a large part of my news feed.
Right.
So, whereas, you know, for like you probably don't have a lot before this, a lot of coaches that were your friends.
Yeah, not at all.
So you're not really seeing that. So it's not, you just have to think of it from, you know, your audience's perspective. So like a lot of, you know, my coach friends and stuff, I just like, you know, read through it, or I try not to comment on their stuff or like, because when you do that, they're going to show up more in your newsfeed. So I try not to do anything with their posts so that they don't show up. Because then you're going to feel like you're probably seeing me a lot and you're like, I'm really tired of seeing Kelly's selfie, like workout selfie, or that she went for a run, or that she's drinking Shakeology. But it's because, you know, you're just more attuned to it. So, yeah, so just like you just have to get over it. And it's
I know.
I get it. Like I really, really do. And there's, you know, I still do not like to take a selfie. I mean, some people, but you're so pretty. Like when you take yours, you always look nice. Even when you're working out, you look so nice. And then I take mine, I'm like, I look like crap.
No, you don't.
I got this new phone, so like the video, like the picture quality is really good. And I'm like, now I just look old. And
oh my gosh.
So it's hard for me to post, but from your audience's perspective, them being able to see your face builds that connection. You can really build that relationship a lot quicker with people because they, you know, this is, you know, the 21st century. This is how people interact a lot of the time is through Facebook. So if they can see your face, you know, and they're seeing it frequently, it kind of feels like you're building like a real relationship with people because you're seeing them as opposed to just reading words that they're posting. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So that's why, like, I try to, I mean, you don't want to post pictures of yourself 4 times a day.
Right.
You do, like one picture of me once a day, you know, and then there are some days where I don't have one of me, but try to just think of it just one time a day so that people they just keep seeing your face and thinking about you. So, yeah. And the workout videos, I mean, those are eye-catching for people, especially, you know, if you're scrolling through on your phone, because they're always, you know, when you scroll past them, they play.
Right.
So that's just little quick glimpses. And, don't expect to have like a bunch of comments on it, and don't expect to even have, a ton of likes. The thing is, you just want to focus on getting yourself out there, getting your story out there for people just to see. That's all is we just want them to see it. Because then when we send those invites or we invite them to coaching, they've already been seeing all this. And that's going to start to, pop up in their head. If they see the invite, then you're going to start showing up in their news feed a lot more. So it just all is like full circle. So then it gets that whole story. They really get a sense of who you are, what you have to offer them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, really social media, like you just have to do it. There's no way around it. I mean, you can choose not to, but then it's pretty much just, you might as well just throw in the towel.
Right.
And just wasting a lot of time because I have never known anybody who has not used social media build a business with this.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I've seen like posting that my before and after picture was like, I got messages left and right because people actually saw the results. So I did think of a question. I had a friend ask me about the 21-day fix, and I was answering all her questions and answering all of her questions about Shakeology. And then she kind of just stopped talking. And so I sent a follow-up like, hey, just wanted to make sure do you have any more questions? Our group is starting soon. And she's like, actually, I decided to go with another coach. I read her blog. I've been reading it for a while. And I was like, what? Like, you came to me and asked me all the questions and you're going to go with her. Like, what do you do in that situation? I'm like, and I told her that's great. You're going to find the support is huge. It's a game changer, but I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, and that happens. I've actually had challengers like who I've worked with for a long time, like go and sign up to be a coach with somebody else.
Oh my God.
I had put the opportunity, like I had, brought up the opportunity with them. I had gotten them, like I was with them when they were getting the results, like everything. And then they're like, go sign with somebody else. And you're like,
yeah.
Like, I put all that work in and then you're just going like somewhere else.
Well, it's kind of heartbreaking because I've known her for years, but she said she's been reading this blog for a while and that's where she first saw the 21-day fix. So her interest peaked with the blog, but she came to me with all the questions and I encouraged her to do it. And now she's signed up and she's doing it. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. Like, where was it? I was at a Super Saturday, and he was one of Beachbody's top coaches. He was talking about this. He was in real estate before he became a coach, and he was playing pool with his brother one day, and his brother was like, "Oh yeah, like, I'm selling my house. I listed with like this, a buddy of mine," and the guy was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm your brother." Yeah. I'm a real estate agent. He's like, "How come you didn't come to me?" Oh. And I was like, well, he was just there. So really a lot of this business is just, people want to do business with who they are really close to at the time. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be like a lifelong friend is going to come to you. Like they just may be talking to their neighbor a lot and that's just convenient for them.
Yeah.
So that's really what you have to think about. That's why forming and building those relationships with people is so important. That way they're the first person, you're the first person they think about. That's what you want. So, and that's why, again, posting pictures of yourself and always every day sharing a little something so that you're always, if somebody thinks 21-day fix, I want them to come and ask me questions, or, if they're ready to get back in shape, I want them to come to me. I want them to think of me. So that's why showing up daily and being so very consistent with your social media is important. It takes time to build that up. I mean, it's taken me a long time to build up that following, but now, I'll just get people like out of the blue that will message me, asking questions about something or interested in coaching, that I haven't talked to, but they're just seeing me and they're thinking, hey, coaching sounds like a, kind of a good deal. I think it might work for me. I'm going to talk to somebody about it. So that's what you want. That's why consistency with everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wouldn't like write that person off at all, because there are plenty of people who I've known who have, signed on, done challenges, bought product from other coaches, but then they come to me, wanting to coach. Or, then they come to me when that other coach that they've kind of affiliated themselves with, like, fizzles out and doesn't want to work the business anymore. I'm here. So then they're going to come back to me. So, like, never, ever, like, burn bridges, like, write people off, because you never know. Well, and I just take that in life in general. You never know how somebody can help you at some point in your life. So I never want to be like, just write somebody off, because there could be some day where, I may need a kidney and they're mad and they're not going to give me a kidney. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You never know. So yeah, what you did, absolutely perfect. Like, be supportive. And then I would just let them know, like, I'm ever here if you have any questions. And, if she comes to you asking questions, like, if you have time, like, take the time to answer them. That goes a long, long ways with people. So she may, have a great results in her challenge group, and, she may be thinking about coaching, and that may be something she wants to do with you, So, yeah, that's, I think, perfect. It's going to happen. This is not the first time it will happen. It will happen. You will have people you've been working with for a long time, like, just screw you over and go.
Oh, no.
And it's okay. Like, we see her, at Super Saturday all the time. Like, we used to work together. Like, we were friends. And it's like, no hard feelings. It's whatever, this is people first, business second. I always, there's some coaches who think it's always business first, but
I can't do that.
No, and you shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. And, I try really, really hard to make that first. Like, yes, you guys are my coaches. Yes, they're my challengers, but you're my friends first.
Okay.
So I never want, like, bad blood between anybody.
Yeah.
So, yes.
All right. Well, thank you. That helped.
Okay. Yeah, that was like a 20-minute discussion. Okay, so tonight I just wanted to kind of, since we're wrapping up training this week, and I'm sure, like, you guys are all kind of overwhelmed. Like, it's a lot of information, and it's a lot of stepping outside of your comfort zone all at one time, like ripping the Band-Aids off, So, but I want you to know, like, it's going to take some time, like at least a couple months before this feels, like, comfortable and you feel like you've got a grasp of things. So if you feel like you still don't know what's going on, like, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like, it's normal. There are times where I just feel like I don't know what's going on, or I'm like, I don't know how this works, or I don't get this, or I don't know how to answer that question. That's okay. Like, that's normal. It's a constant, it's just a constant learning curve on this. So the biggest thing is just, all of this information is in our Dropbox. It's on Everything with Heart webpage. Everything. There's nothing that I keep secret from anybody. There's nothing that's, like, locked away. All of this information is there for you guys. So if you ever have questions, or you just, like, want to review something, always go to those resources first. Like, this is called New Coach Training in the Dropbox. So, just pull that up and, pull up whatever section you had a question on. I'm always pulling up stuff about like rank advancement and stuff and like all the criteria, because I never can remember what you need to have to get to this next stage, you know, for other coaches. Like, there's always stuff I'm always like reviewing. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to, like, if you have spare time, just like look around your back office, because there's a lot of great stuff back there. I'm always finding something new that's helpful back there. And just kind of get to know it better so that you can, you know, take advantage of it, because it's got a lot of great information back there. So, yeah, so just always, you know, just keep plugging in, keep learning, keep asking questions. And if you feel overwhelmed, it's normal. And don't ever be afraid to like come to me with questions. Like, it's not bothering me. It may take me a little bit to get back to you, but don't feel like, I feel like I'm asking you questions every day. Like, that's why I'm here. Okay. So I want to be able to, you know, make you confident and comfortable. So, yeah. So forward thinking. So we have the challenge group coming up. You don't need to freak out about it. Like my first challenge group, I did it by myself. I had no idea what I was doing. Literally, I don't think I posted I did it through email. So I think I just sent an email every night going, how did you do? That was it. There was like no tips, no tricks, no like, take a selfie, let's have prizes. Like, there was none of that. So I think it may things seem complicated, but they're not. Just remember, keep it simple. This is a simple business. I would say it's easy, but it takes work. It takes hard work, but it's simple. So if you feel like things are complicated, like, you shouldn't feel that way, then just take a step back and just think, why am I here? I'm here to support these people. That's it. So that can be as simple as just sending a message every day. How are you doing? Did you do your workout today? I am thinking about you today. You know, I know you were struggling last week. How are you doing this week? How can I help you? That's all it is. That's all this is about. So if it feels complicated, go back to that. And that's what I do. If I feel like, like some of my groups is just too much stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to email every one of my challengers, and I'm just going to say, how are you doing? Like, how did today go? You know, tell me, where are you struggling? How can I help you? And then it's just, you know, it just, you know, sets me back, and I go, okay, this is why I'm here. And everything else just kind of disappears. So always keep that in mind. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And stick to your power hour. Like, make sure you set those hours and stick to it. So if you want to work more, great. But make sure it's structured time. Don't feel like you have to answer everybody's messages like as soon as it pops up. You know, because then it's pretty soon this is going to like consume your life, and you're going to hate it. And your kids are going to hate you because you're always on your phone, and your husband will be like, keep the phone down. So think about that. Messages can wait. Okay? It's not life or death. Okay? People can wait. They're not going to run off. Like, if you don't answer them, they're not going to run off to another coach. Probably not. Maybe they will. But if they do, you don't want to have that person anyways.
Right.
You don't want to deal with them if they're that needy. So
that's good.
Yeah, so stick to your power hours. Yeah, and be consistent with those. And make sure the first thing you're focusing on during that power hour is the things that are going to move your business forward. Inviting is a big thing, because that is going to move your business forward. Social media. So I think as a new coach, you spend a lot of time thinking about what you want to post. So make sure you factor that in there as well. You know, the more you do it, the less you're going to think about it. And it's not going to be as time consuming, but probably now you're like, I don't know what I'm going to post. And you're going to spend 45 minutes figuring out how you're going to write it so you don't look like an idiot. And yeah, so you're overthinking it. So just like factor that stuff in too, because that's going to eat up time as well. So just kind of, I think for me, it's helpful if I go in and kind of plan my social media for the week. Like, oh, I've got like this, like my kids come in the morning while I'm working and give me a hug when they wake up. Like that's something I actually post about a lot because that's a big deal to me. Like that's one of my favorite things about this is I can work at home and like my kids just come in and I'm here and then I go make breakfast. Like that's a big thing for me. And I know that talks to my niche as well. Like being home with their kids is a big thing to them. So that's what I'm going to share. So just think about your niche, who's going to relate to you and what they want. What do you want? What got you interested in coaching? That's what you want to share because that's what your niche is going to be interested in as well. So sharing that and sharing it often because the more people see it, then they're going to be like, well, I want that. Like what's she doing? She seems really happy and, she's bringing in an income or she's, been able to, pay her cell phone bill this month or she went and got a massage. What is she doing? Like, I want to do that because then she's still home and she's still got, she's got her life together. I want to do that. So that's what you want people thinking. So think about that. Okay. So inviting, make sure you're always adding to your list. Don't just keep inviting the same 5 people every month. If people say no or if they're ignoring you, just add them to your list. Keep forming with them, keep showing up in their life. Invite them next month, and add new people as well. I'm always meeting new people out and about or through Facebook. So I'm always adding new people to my list as well. So I have, so I'm not just talking to the same 200 people. I'm always bringing new people in, getting to know people and building those relationships. So I'm always keeping that funnel full. So let's see. Always be inviting to your team as well. That's a big thing.
Watch a show.
Always be inviting to your team because if you want this business to be able to take you somewhere, you're not going to do that on commissions. You're just not. It's such a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of my income. Growing a team is going to give you longevity. It's going to give you something to wake up every morning for. It really makes everything worthwhile, I think. If you do this by yourself, it's just not that fun. But having other people doing it with you who you truly enjoy working with and seeing every week is nice. It really is. And I think that's a big thing that draws people in is just that team environment and that family kind of atmosphere and working towards the same goal together is a big thing. When you have that, then your business goals and your income goals are just going to fall into place naturally. So, inviting coaches to join you, you just have to think about that because that's going to give you that longevity in this business. It's going to build that income. So I think that's a big thing people are afraid of. But if you don't do it, you're not going to go anywhere. So unless you're, of course there's those coaches who just want to like, hey, if I make like a sale here and there, I'm happy. But if you really want to do this long term, like that's what you need to focus on. And it's going to be hard in the beginning because people are going to be skeptical of you. They're not going to really trust the process. They're not going to trust you yet because, you're new in it. And how many friends do you know have gotten into, whatever Jamberry, Mary Kay and are successful with it? Probably not a lot of people. So
Right.
You don't want to like sign up for something that they just feel like they're wasting their money, time with. So, or they feel like it's not going to take them anywhere. So that's where being consistent is key and just always being there, I've been doing this for 4.5 years. I have a lot of friends who just signed on, who I've been friends with for a very long time, that are just coming now like, hey, I want to do a challenge with you. And you're like, great. It took you 5 years. Like, where were you at the beginning? But now they're ready. So I'm like, sweet, I'm still here for those. Now, like, well, next year you may be ready. I'm going to be here. So I always tell people, if they're a no, great. Let me know if you want me to check in with you, or if you ever need anything, I'm always here. Because I know even if 6 months from now, if they're ready, I'm going to be here, ready to meet them. So that's a big thing. Okay. So after we run this challenge group, you guys are kind of free to either, if you want to go out on your own and like run your own challenges, or team up with some other people to run one, that's fine. Mine are always open, always. So if you're just not ready, or you only have like one challenger, you guys are always welcome to hop in mine. So don't ever worry about that. But the key is you need to run them monthly. Again, that consistency. Because if you're running one now and then you don't run one for 6 months, when you send out those invites, people aren't going to take you seriously. And you're not going to have that trust with people. But if they see that you're doing this every single month, they know you're there. They're thinking about you. So when they're ready, they're going to come to you. So another thing to think about too, especially in the beginning as a new coach, is running free challenges, because this is a great way to get past the cost objection with people. And it's an easy way to build trust with people and really showcase what you can offer them. That being support. Like, support goes a long, long way. And that is the main thing people are lacking. That's why, people struggle, because they don't have anybody there to make sure that they're doing it. So free challenges are a great way to kind of build those relationships with people, build that trust with people without having them, commit financially to anything. So I have a whole folder in our Dropbox full of free challenge ideas. Christina did a squat challenge, like a 5-day squat challenge. People have done like a 30-day plank challenge. I just finished a 7-day clean eating challenge, and I've done 5, 7, and 10 days. That kind of depends on where I see the need is. If I've had a lot of cost objections, then I'm probably going to do a 5-day, because then I can either offer it without Shakeology, or I can offer it with Shakeology. So they can get 5 days of Shakeology for like $25. It's not a big cost. They can try Shakeology. If they don't like it, they're not in, $120 and a whole bag of it. They can just see if they like it. It's a good amount of time for them to feel the benefits of it, and see results from it. So I just finished a 7-day, and I just did 7 days worth of Shakeology, and I just sent that out to people. So those are all good ideas. So if you feel like you're struggling with cost objection, or just a lot of no's, that's something to think about, is running one of those. But you also have to be careful with those, because a lot of coaches get sucked into running the free challenge groups. They're easy. You get a lot of positive feedback from it. You don't get a lot of no's from it, because everybody's willing to do something that's free. So I think people like to do them because they don't get those objections. It makes them But then they're spending so much time doing all of this work. I mean, that's still work, and you're not getting anything. You're not getting compensated for your time. And a lot of time you'll get these people that want to like suck you dry. They want to get as much out of you as they can for free. And as soon as you mention anything, they're like, no, I don't want to do it. And you're like, okay, well, like when you're ready, that's fine. But I'm not going to go like above and beyond and like create a meal, like this whole 30-day meal plan for you and check in with you every day. No, if you want to do that, that's why you join my challenge group. That's why I offer this to just these customers who are putting putting in the, the time and the effort to do it. I mean, that's what I'm offering them. So just be mindful of that. Okay. So my number 2 point is keep it simple. Like I said, don't overcomplicate it. If you feel like things are complicated and it's too much, like too many calls, too many trainings, then step back and reevaluate. Again, just remember why you're doing this in the first place and always fall back on that. So focus on your must-dos, inviting, doing your workouts, doing your social media. Those are the most important things. After you do that, then you can focus on everything else. Then listen to, the national wake-up calls or the Team Courage calls. These are all really great resources. And for me, I always listen. I never listen to those live. Well, first of all, it's hard on West Coast and they all happen during like dinner time. So, if I did tune in live to them, and every night at dinner, I'm listening to these calls, and that's not why I'm doing this. I'm coaching at home so that I could be home with my kids. So make sure you have those boundaries and you stick to those boundaries. But I'll listen to those, in the car, when I'm, getting ready in the morning, in the shower, while I'm folding laundry at night, while I'm watching the kids' soccer practice, because then I can still watch what they're doing, but I can listen, and it doesn't take away anything from me. So those are really great, great tools. And I know when I feel like I'm kind of lost and just have kind of lost momentum, with this, that's when I know I need to start listening to those calls, because they spark new ideas. They kind of spark that passion again and, get me back in the game again. So if you ever feel like you're just struggling and, you don't feel like doing it, listen to those calls, because they really, they're meant to be helpful. They're meant to help you grow. So, huge things. Read personal development. That's always a big thing of mine, or listen to it in the car. I have the DVDs on some that I'll listen to, especially on road trips and stuff. So those are huge. And even if it's just reading a couple pages every morning, I always start my power hour with reading a couple pages. I'll read my devotional first, and then I'll read, whatever personal development book. Just a couple pages, and I'm highlighting things, and it's enough to put me in like a positive mindset. So when I go to address, my coaches, or I go to address my challengers or answer messages, I'm already in the right mindset. So that helps a lot. And really set out to learn something new each day, even if it's something simple, like, oh, that's a cool little font on that pit collage thing. I'm going to look that up. Like, just little things like that can really go a long way. So, like I said, set your hours and stick to them and be consistent with them. I never had any set hours that I worked until beginning of last year. And my business was all over the place. I know. See? I was terrible. So I'm trying to teach you guys not to do this. That's why I like stick to your hours. Like, make hours, even if it's 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 30 minutes. You will grow a whole lot faster than I did when I was like, oh, maybe I'll do an hour here. And then like next month, I'll like post a picture or like talk that say that I did Insanity. Like, it was so inconsistent, and no wonder I never picked Success Club. No wonder I didn't sign coaches up, and I only got one commission, for a month. So that's why. It's because I wasn't consistent. So really, those business hours are key. So even if it's just a small amount of time, don't feel you have to work 8 hours a day, unless you want to run out of the gate and be a top 10 coach this year. If you want to do that, you're going to have to put in some time. But I'm also here to tell you that you can build a successful business only working. In the beginning, I wasn't working. When I was setting my hours, I wasn't working as many hours as I'm working now, but now I'm only working like 2 to 3 hours a day. So, but that works for me. Am I a top 10 coach? No, but I have a good income. I'm happy, I'm balanced, and my team is growing. It's just slow, and I'm okay with that. I have that patience. I know we'll get there. You know, I want to make sure my coaches are balanced and happy. And so that's what's important to me is I want you guys to be able to build something like I have, but I want you to do it in a way where you're not burned out, you're not hating people, you know, you're not hating what you're doing, you know, you're not stressed out like I don't want that. If you get to that point, let me know because I want to help you fix it because I don't want you feeling that way. So, okay. Number 3, keep the vision. You know, that goes along with what I was just saying. There will always be peaks and valleys. Sometimes you'll feel like you're in a valley forever. Like there was a good year where I was just, I call it like the darkness. I was in the darkness. I questioned why I was still here. Did I want to keep doing this? And it was a really hard time. But then I realized I didn't want to go back to work either. And I had this opportunity. So that's when I really took a hold of it and, you know, started working towards something. But I still have times I'll have good months and I'll have bad months. I'll have good days, I'll have bad days. But I know that I have my path. I have that vision. You know, I have goals. So I know it's just a little blip. You know, I'm going to get past it and I'm going to have a good month again. It will happen. But if you get stuck in, you know, oh, I just feel like everybody's saying no, which will happen. You'll just feel like nobody wants to have anything to do with you. That will go away. But that's the consistency. That's where that consistency is going to pay off because what you don't want to do is just throw in the towel when that happens because then you're going to have to make that up later on down the road and it's going to set you back even further. So even if you just feel like you're in those valleys, just keep pushing forward, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing because it will pay off, I promise you. That vision will really keep you focused on the prize and not just, you know, that hurdle that's right in front of you. So stay balanced so you don't burn out and think long term and keep your eye on the prize. So again, like what I talked about, you know, if you want, you know, so I've had some coaches sign on that said, you know, you ask them what their goals are. I want to make like a 6-figure income my first year. I'm like, okay. Well, I was like, I'm not going to say you can't do that because anything is possible. But if you want to do that, you need to be like selling like crazy. Like you need to be having like Success Club 100 every month. You need to be signing like 50 coaches every month. You're going to have to work a lot of hours to do that. You can do it, but it's going to take a lot of work. I think people just think it's, you know, like I'm going to make this great post, just one great post and everybody's just they're going to comment on it and then they're going to, you know, they're going to message me about wanting to buy this and they're just going to have great results and it's just going to be so easy. Like today, like I still have those moments. I think we all do. We all have that high hope. Like I remember when I first started my Like page, I was trying to think of like engaging stuff to post on it. And I found this like great tip about peanut butter. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the post that's going to go like viral. Like it's going to get me 500 likes. I just know it. And so like I posted this tip about peanut butter and like I had people commenting like, oh, that's a stupid way to do it. Why don't you do this? And just like completely like beat me down.
Oh no.
My sister included, like she was one of those. And I had like 2 likes and all the comments were like negative comments on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was such a blow to the ego because I was like, I had such high hopes for that.
Yeah, delete.
Yes, I was like, that was gonna, that's gonna be a top 10 coach. I'm gonna have people messaging me, you know, wanting to join my team because I'm just like got these great tips.
Oh.
So, but we all have moments, where we just think we're like, oh, this is going to really get it going. And then it like fails. I've had, in the beginning, I was like very scrappy about my business. Like I was always trying to find ways to like sell like the packets of Shakeology. And we were living on base in Japan and the ship was deploying. And I was like, oh, this can be a great idea. I'm going to like put these packages together, like these deployment packages. I'm going to put Shakeology in there. I'm going to put a little shaker cup and like a little thing of peanut butter. It's just going to be great. It's going to sell like hotcakes. I'm going to make like a fortune. I'm going to get so many people interested in Shakeology. And it fizzled. Like it did not, I mean, I sold a few and, that was good, but it just didn't skyrocket my business. It just didn't. But what did? Being consistent and posting a sweaty selfie on Facebook every once in a while and talking about my journey and bringing it up every day, just a little something. That's been a lot more productive than just, thinking of that one big thing that's, it's just going to launch me. So always keep that in mind. And I'm sure you will have those moments where you're just going to have that big letdown. Oh, I swear I thought this was just going to be my moment. And then it was like squashed. So don't worry, that's normal. And I'm sure I have one that will beat it. So just remember, it's just going to take time. This is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint. So just think long-term, consistency, doing the little things, knowing you're going to fail, knowing it's going to be hard sometimes. But I promise you, if you keep doing it, you keep consistent, you're always trying to learn and be open to ideas. And really just, I think the biggest thing for me has been just talking to other coaches and learning from them. Everybody has something to offer. Even, some of our top coaches in our team, I learn a lot from them, but I also learn a lot from like brand new coaches coming in. So I'm always trying to learn a better way to do something, maybe a way to tweak something or just a new way of running a training, whatever. I'm always trying to make things better, make things easier. So I think if you have that mindset, you can't fail. Like you will go far. So that's all about, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about tonight, is just kind of looking forward. And the other thing I wanted to say too is, now that we have this challenge group started, now this is like the time that I start planning my next month. So that I think always looking ahead and planning ahead helps a lot. Because then you have a game plan. So you're not, at least for me, like, Success Club 5 is always a must for me. So looking ahead, making that list, I start forming from my list that I'm going to start inviting for next month. And usually the last week of the month, I'm going to start inviting people to next month's challenge so that they can start thinking about it and you can start having those conversations with people. Because it's going to take them a few days. It's very rare you have somebody who's like, I wanted the 21-day fix challenge pack, send me the link. And you're like, okay, like that never happens ever. So, don't count on that happening. Just plan it. It's a process with people, talking, answering questions, and telling them, showing them what you can offer them. So I always try to do that. That way I can hopefully hit Success Club early in the month and have a good group of challengers set up already. So I'm not at the last minute trying to pull, oh my gosh, I only have one challenger. I need 2 more because then it's awkward with just one. So, so planning ahead, and that's hard, especially if you're a procrastinator like I am. I always still feel like at the first of the month, I'm like, but baby steps, you can learn. So just always think about that. I'm always thinking about, as, this month is winding down, I'm always thinking about what's going to happen? What's my game plan next month? What's my schedule? What do I have coming up? What do I need to think about? So, because that makes everything go a lot smoother. And it makes me more focused on my power hours as well, because I know exactly what I'm doing. So, okay, that's it. 15 minutes. I'm glad I extended this.
Was it recording?
I am recording it, yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I was like, I don't want to talk because I don't know if she's recording.
No, it's okay, because you're like, anybody's question, somebody else has that same question.
Yeah.
That question you asked me is not the first time I've heard that. So,
Well, that's good.
yeah, if there is a unique question, I will tell that person. I've never heard it before.
Awesome.
It's like those direct links. Don't press the direct link. It will not work for you. Every single coach, even if I tell them that, they'll still be like, it's not showing it. I'm like, did you press on it? It will. Like, just trust that it will show up for you.
Follow directions.
Well, it's like, put the do not press on the button. Like, people are gonna like, well, now I want to press it.
Right.
So maybe I should click the link. I dare you. Maybe then they won't do it. So, okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for everything. Honestly, like, you've been such a huge help. And I was telling Katie, my friend that I invited to the Coaching at a Glance, about you and just how much I've changed and how much better I feel. I'm a skeptic, and she's like 100 times more than I am. So it's a work in progress, getting her to trust me that I swear it's not a scam. And
yeah, well, you can tell her I thought I was a skeptic for like years as I was a coach. Like, I was like, I don't know if I've said this a few times, but so Summer was a good friend of mine, and she's she's really, like, she's in the Millionaires Club with this business, like, it's crazy. But when she was starting out, she was like, I'm going to retire Chad from the military. And I remember thinking, I was like, that's the stupidest decision I have ever heard. Why would you ever want to do that? Like, you don't know where this business is going to be a year from now. Like, how could you just throw all your eggs in this basket? Like, what if it just, goes belly up and, whatever. So dumb. Why would you? That was me. Like, as I was coaching and, like, building a team, I was still like, well, I don't really believe, like, I don't know where this is going to go. But it really, now I'm like, oh my gosh, you can do something with this. Am I planning on this business as, like, my retirement? Absolutely not. I think I think it's good to still have that, I'm not going to trust something 100%, but you can absolutely do something with it. Absolutely. And even, coming in, not believing in it 100%, there is hope. So you can tell her that.
I will.
Talk to the biggest skeptic, talk to me. So.
Oh. Well, thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, I'll let you go for reals now.
Okay.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.